In every era, there are one or two moments when nations come together and reach agreements that make history, because they change the course of history, and Copenhagen must be such a time. There are now fewer than 50 days to set the course for the next few decades. So as we convene here, we carry great responsibilities, and the world is watching.
Blue Monday, how are you, Blue Monday? Got to work like a slave all day. Here come Tuesday, oh, Tuesday.
It is Blue Monday on the Savage Nation, and of course you just heard the con man from England, Gordon Brown. The last days of Brown. He's sitting there in his bunker. To some newspaper correspondents, they say he looks horrible, popping pills, but he's making no sense to anyone who knows science. He claims that there's only 50 days left to save the world. What he means is to turn the world over to him and the other pill-popping lunatics in the Socialist Internationale. I'm going to give you now the other side of the story, a real scientist as opposed to a pill-popping politician. Here's Lord Christopher Monckton speaking on the so-called climate treaty that will be signed in Copenhagen by Obama unless he is stopped. Listen.
At Copenhagen, this December, weeks away, a treaty will be signed. Your president will sign it. Most of the third world countries will sign it because they think they're going to get money out of it. I have read that treaty. And what it says is this, that a world government is going to be created. The word government actually appears as the first of three purposes of the new entity. The second purpose is the transfer of wealth from the countries of the West to third world countries in satisfaction of what is called coyly a climate debt, because we've been burning CO2 and they haven't, and we've been screwing up the climate. We haven't been screwing up the climate, but that's the line. And the third purpose of this new entity, this government, is enforcement.
So that's an actual scientist warning you about what Obama is about to do under the guise of protecting the environment. In clip 15, you hear more.
How many of you think that the word election or democracy or vote or ballot occurs anywhere in the 200 pages of that treaty? Quite right, it doesn't appear once. So at last, they are about to impose a communist world government on the world. You have a president who has very strong sympathies with that point of view. He's going to sign. He'll sign anything. He's a Nobel Peace Laureate. Of course he'll sign it. And the trouble is this. If that treaty is signed, your constitution says that it takes precedence over your constitution. And you can't resile from that treaty unless you get the agreement of all the other states' parties. And because you'll be the biggest paying country, they're not going to let you out. So, thank you, America. You were the beacon of freedom for the world. It is a privilege merely to stand on this soil of freedom while it is still free.
Yeah, from a beacon of freedom to a beaker of something else. Monckton concludes in the next clip.
In the next few weeks, unless you stop it, your president will sign your freedom, your democracy, and your prosperity away forever. And neither you nor any subsequent government you may elect will have any power whatsoever to take it back again. That is how serious it is. I've read the treaty. I've seen this stuff about government and climate debt and enforcement. They are going to do this to you, whether you like it or no.
So if you think Obama and Axelrod and George Soros don't have a plan for your children, you are mistaken. Soros wants to bust the buck. He's trying to break the dollar, in my opinion. Soros was one of the chief architects in electing Obama. Soros continues to downgrade the dollar in every conversation, saying that it must be destroyed in order to straighten out the world's economies. Remember who George Soros is. He is a Hungarian refugee who fled Hitler and came here, and his way of saying thanks to America was to put a knife in its back. Soros, remember, almost broke the British pound. Soros bet against the Malaysian currency, creating worldwide anti-Semitism. And now George Soros, who is the puppeteer behind Obama, is now struggling to make sure the U.S. dollar is destroyed once and for all. But this gang is interested not only in profit. They want total control over the airwaves. They want total control over your life. from birth through the graveyard. Are you going to give it to them? How do you stop them? By educating yourself and others wherever you are. You must stop this madness.